Am I the asshole that I allow the past to influence my present relationships? We met online 3 years ago. I am F26, he is M29, completely by accident. This wasn't an app like Tinder or something like that, where you can choose your partner before starting conversations. We just clicked on a button in 1 second, and that's where it all started. He had a complicated girl who was in love with him, but he did not reciprocate her feelings. He cared for her. She was important to him, and they did many programs together. I was the person who supported him if they fought. They also fought about him talking to me, and she had a hard time accepting the fact that he was interested in someone else. I didn't like this complicated girl. But who am I to say that? We are just friends online, and we are far from each other. We live 2,000 kilometers from each other. I perfectly understood that I had no right to in any way influence his time with this girl and communication, so I just supported, and that's all. Moreover, I never thought that there would be anything more between us than a long-distance friendship. 1 year later, he wrote me a long message confessing his feelings for me. He said he loved me. I also confessed my feelings to him, and we decided to be together. For some reason, in my head, I thought that if we were together, then this complicated girl would not be in our lives. But I was wrong. He continued to date her because she was a friend. I was very depressed after I found out, to which he promised me that he would no longer see her. 6 months after these events, I flew to see him in Europe. We met in person for the first time, and it was a fantastic week. We stayed in a hotel because he said he was renting out his apartment for our vacation to get paid for it. I know that sounds weird. Another red flag was that when my return flight was delayed by 5 hours, he didn't stay with me. He drove off, leaving me at the airport. A couple of months after that, we had a fight. The next day, he admitted to me that on that day, he wrote to that same complicated girl with whom he supposedly doesn't communicate. She came to his house, and he invited her to stay overnight at his flat. He admitted this to me himself. He didn't hide it. He said that there was nothing between them, that they drank and talked, and then she went to bed in the living room and left in the morning. After this situation, I actively suppressed all the negative emotions that were in me because of this betrayal. It was very difficult for me to believe him, but the pain of the final loss was stronger than what I chose. After 1 year, I again raised the topic of that episode of betrayal and began to talk about how hurt I was. After that, he accused me of bringing up the topic of the past, and this was interfering with our relationship now. Several times, out of emotion, I broke off the relationship, but then either he brought me back or I apologized and repented. Am I the asshole?